Can you confirm when the two men last spoke?
I don't have a date or time, a timeline of when they last spoke. What I can say is that clearly the OMB director, our Office of Legislative Affairs has been in regular touch with congressional leaders on this for the past several weeks, several months. As you all know, extreme House Republicans are solely to blame for marching us toward a shutdown. That is what we're seeing right now.
Well, we all know a government shutdown is looming. It looks like it's going to happen. There is no question there. Goldman Sachs says 90%, which seems a little low at this point. Conventional wisdom is going to come up here in this clip from CNN, where they talk about the conventional wisdom that even I bought into, and that's the idea that Republicans will largely be blamed for the government shutdown. Turns out that may not be true.
Yeah, I think this one was a bit of a surprise to me, given, I think, what the conventional wisdom is. So there have been a number of polls on this. So who would you mainly blame for a government shutdown? Actually, the plurality blamed Joe Biden or the Democrats in Congress at 39%, the GOP in Congress at 33%, both equally at 22%. But in the two polls that I have seen, when you combine Biden and the congressional Democrats, more voters blame them than blame Republicans in Congress. And that is very different than what we've seen in prior shutdowns. So who is the public blame for prior shutdowns? Republicans in 95, 96, Republicans in 2013, and Republicans in 2018, 19. So this may be a shutdown that is quite different than that in terms of the public blame, because at least at this point, more Americans say they'll blame Biden and or the Democrats in Congress.
Harry, do people want...
You want to know why that might be? It might be because the media has lost a little bit of its power. It continues to lose its power. They've been telling you right now it's not even up to a question of who to blame here. It's Republicans. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. I think it kind of is Republicans to blame here. Just be honest. Democrats at least have an agreement on what they want to do. Republicans can't get agreement within their own caucus. But the things that the Republicans seem to want, controlling our out-of-control spending, wink, because I'm not so sure they actually believe that. Issues at the border, which I think I do believe, and then this issue of Ukraine. That could have something to do with this. Let's see what they say next.
Want their lawmakers to compromise, or do they want them to hold firm when it comes to spending?
Yeah, so there's a bit of a split here. Congresspersons who think like you should compromise to avoid a shutdown. Overall, 64% say that's what they want. Only 31% say they want their folks to stick to their principles. But look among Republicans. We have a dead split right here, 50%, 46%. And so I think that's a big part of what you're seeing in Congress right now, with some Republicans wanting that compromise and some saying, no, you should stick to your principles. But of course, I don't think it's really that surprising that the two sides can't come to an agreement here, because the fact is, this has been a Congress in which nothing has gotten passed. Just 14 bills and resolutions, an all-time low since 1973. Normally through this point, the average is 70. So a Congress that isn't getting anything done doesn't seem to be getting anything done once again. So to me, not really much of a surprise at this point.
No, it's not much of a surprise. And they're not getting anything done. Obviously, you have a split chamber, so that plays a big role in that as well. You have the House controlled by the Republicans and the Senate controlled by Democrats. But the presidency is controlled by Joe Biden, so maybe that's why one of the reasons that people are blaming him. But this is different. Like he said, normally they blame Republicans. Now they're blaming Democrats. If the media would start blaming Democrats for once, maybe it would push them to compromise. But as always, the media tells them to stick to their guns, and Republicans, they should cave because they're evil. Maybe that's not going to work here. Guess we're going to see what happens. But the Goldman Sachs folks, they say 90% chance of a shutdown. The Dale Jackson system says about 100% chance of a shutdown.